How to create amazing designs in Krita using the fill layers. Fill layers have got loads and loads of features, and I'm using 4.4. So get 4.4 or obviously later, and then you can use a load of these great features, and you can see the fill layers over here in the layers panel. Now to edit a fill layer, you just click on here. You can delete the fill layer as well. And it's a mathematical construct. It's not a layer. When it's a fill layer, you can sort of apply effects to, etc. So you need to convert it into a pixel or paint layer. And there's another one, another fill layer there. But you can edit them at any point, just click on there and it will bring up this panel. So you can edit them. Now I'm going to start complete fresh. Now also one thing of course with layers, you can use blending mode so you can blend between the layers. So you can create even more amazing designs simply by using blending or opacity, or maybe just go opacity. So you can change the opacity like that, of course, and tweak it that way. Now, just how to create it? Well, you think, well, layer. Well, actually, it's not. Strange enough, it's over here in the layers panel. You go to create this little plus, and what you can do, go down to fill layer. Let's fill layer, it's right in the middle. And the default one is the color. That's all you've got, color. And you give it a name, of course you can change the name and you can change colour. That's the initial. However, it's got a lot more than that, which is really good because obviously you want to feel, you've got this lovely design here that's just really great, and you can change the number of dimensions. I'm not going to show every single possible combination of every possible setting because that would take forever to go through. But you can change the dimensions and you can see. Now, sometimes it's a bit slow and you can see the processing having a bit of problem building up the behind in there, the preview. So I'm just going to stick like that. But what you can do is you can change the divisions. You can see division. You can create some very beautiful designs there. So again, reduce that down and you can change it offset. Also, you can go to line width. So you make it like 5 to make it thicker lines. You also got connector lines. So it's like you've got additional sublines, or in this case, connector lines. And you've got acute angles. Okay, that's what it's called, acute angles. Obtuse angles. And you've got these lovely circles, cross shapes, and which I like best. I think that's a nice one. So 5, it creates a very nice sort of three-dimensional sort of thing. Now you can't move it or do anything by clicking on the layer like you would in like Photoshop. And you can change the width. So if you want one there, make it a bit thinner lines, or maybe make it thicker than the other. So just go over there, 10. So you can see you can create all kinds of very unusual things, and you can reduce the line width. You can change the colours as well. So you can change the colour if you want that to be orange, etc. You can see you can change those. Personally, just keep it black. And you can also change the colours here. So if you want, say, got green there, click there, make that red. So you can make that red. You can see design, and you can modify this. So you can see it changes there as well. You can add additional stops if you want, and so on and so on. And you can control the ratio between them. So that's a very nice feature. And again, of course, you can still go back and modify these if you want. The next one, patterns. Now, I'd have to say it does occasionally take a bit of time to process. You just see that it was hanging a bit. It's not instantaneous, certainly on my machine. Maybe if you've got a powerful machine, it might be quicker. You get a little preview here. So you've got a preview. You can also import your own images. So if you want to bring your own patterns, it's quite good. So you've got a lot of options here. You've got that one there. It's a great design. Or that one. Again, you can see it just takes a bit of time to process. Now, some of these designs may be on yours, maybe not, because I think these ones are the ones I've created. I might be wrong on that. So you can see the prick. I've added a number of patterns here, and I can't remember which ones I've added, which ones I haven't. You can see you've got design there. Now, what you've also got is a transform feature, which I think is pretty cool. So you can rotate it. You can see you rotate it there. Or you can scale it, maybe go for 400. You can offset it. So you can see real quite close up there. And you can also use shear, which I think is really excellent, just so you can make it a different quite intense, unusual designs that way. Variety of different designs. Sadly, there's no randomization feature. I would love to see that. And also there's no color feature, which would be really nice here because you've got some black and white designs. It'd be nice if you could have an overlay. There isn't. But of course, what you can do, you can always add another fill layer, maybe with a color, and then just modify the color and blending mode. That's a way of doing it. So you've got patterns there, a whole range of different patterns, and you can explore and try all those. And there's lots of different designs you can create just by using these. Then you've got Screentone, and there's a number of options here. You've got dots, and you can transform those post-processing as well. The more interesting one probably is you've got ellipse, you've got diamond, and you've got square. But lines I think are more interesting. So you've got lines, and you've got straight, and then you've got sine waves. Very small, but you've got transformation tab. So what you can do, you can change the position. You can also change the size. You can see you can make it very close, crunched up there. It's a great, and also rotate and shear. So you can create all kinds of unique designs. But you've also got obviously sine waves, triangular waves. You can see you've got sharp point ones there. And you've also got options here, just tweak it just slightly. Very subtle. So transformations for those, and post-processing you can change the colour. So you've got purple. So maybe purple and white, or change the background to green. So you can see you can create that, and you can invert it as well. Change the opacity. So it's got more or less. You can see through the design there. I'm just going to keep it like that. And contrast, so you can make it very low contrast or very, very cutting designs there. So you can create all kinds of unique designs using this option. Lovely zigzag designs. Now at any point, once you're happy with the design, click OK, and that'll be your layer. Now to use it as a proper layer, you have to convert it. You can use merge, etc. in the layer menu to merge it into become an actual painting layer or a pixel layer. So you've got those options: triangle wave, sawtooth wave. See other designs there. And I'm certain that at some point they will add additional, because there's loads of possible square waves. Could be, I could guess, could be put into curtain waves, create some unusual one. Now this is quite an interesting one. This is the SeExpr expression, and it's interesting because you've got a lot of options there. You can obviously there you've got the click there, you can change the name, etc. I'm not going to do that, but you've got options here of changing the color. You've got a gradient, so you can go over this color, you can tweak, modify that, and change the value. You go for red, and you can change other settings there as well. And you'll notice down the bottom now that can be dragged out, and that can be dragged up there. Obviously if there was some other functionality there, then you'd lose that. It just goes over the top there. You can also add a new variable. So you can add some new variables you want to this equation. And this one isn't probably the best example because it's got only a limited set of settings, but you can tweak all the various settings down here. All this stuff is all down here, just in a more mathematical form. Now I'm just going to go back to the scripts, and you've got a whole range of them. So you've got a load of scripts added. You can also add your own ones. So import resource, maybe go for that one. There's another one there. See, this one is using random squares, which I think is lovely. Cell noise one. And I'm going to options again, and again you can rename it. You can also save the preset. You can also overwrite it. Now I wouldn't recommend overwrite. I think it's best to save, because you might maybe make a mess of it and you've just overwritten it and that's it. Might find it very hard to go back unless you put notes on what you've changed as well. So obviously you can put comments in this. Comments are always good when you're doing coding, but you say if you want to change, you can change it down here. And you don't have to keep the same settings here. You could go put 3 there. And sometimes it might make no difference. You might look and think, well, that hasn't changed much. However, there might be suddenly you think, oh, 5, put 5 there. Again, that doesn't change much. But again, it's just something to explore. And you notice subdivisions there, 67. Well, if I just look in there, you can see subdivision 67. So if you change it here, you can change it on here, so 12. And you can see it changes there as well. And that obviously brings it closer up. But you, of course, can add more functionality into this. Because you might not want 12. You might want to maybe add some variation where the size for the vertical is different from the horizontal. I'm saying you can look at the code, tweak that in numerous ways to just change that. And of course, you can always combine it. You can blend them. Some scripts are great for changing. Some are probably very, very focused on a particular effect, and probably changing it will have no real, what's the name? So like this one, there's a lot of options here. Again, you could maybe go through it and think, you know what, let's change that to 9. And you can see, oh, just halves it, just cuts it a bit by using 9. Now you might turn around and say, oh, maybe try 2.3. What does tab, I don't want that. Well, that completely removes it. 0.3. Cuts it off at the top. And so on. So you can see, and you've got here repeats. You can go, maybe I won't go with 3, but just try. You're not saving it, you're not doing anything, so you can just explore these settings. You can add your own functionality to it as well. Obviously, I'm not going to be tweaking, but you can select lines and copy and paste and tweak everything. And also what you can do, you can always comment things out, maybe make something just default to one constant. Whole range of different things you can tweak these to change, and you can change the colours as well. So you've got here colour. I'm going to go purple. Yeah, and they go purple. And of course, you've got the colour at background. That one, cyan. Click OK, and that will change the background. Yeah, it does eventually. And of course, you can modify the radius there, make them smaller, make them bigger, like that. And you've got size, you've got other settings as well, offsets, size. Oh, that's a bit too big. 10. And you can see, you can tweak those scripts in numerous ways. So just explore. There's some great ones to explore. This one looks amazing to explore. And there's a lot of functionality here. There's a lot of code. You can just tweak it and change. Right, I could spend hours going through that. I'm not. Just going to go for the next one. And this is the last one, simplex noise. There's not much in this. You've got looping. However, also another problem you've got with this, it's just grayscale. So if you want to, you would have to add another layer, maybe use blending modes, etc., to combine to create some colour to this, if that's what you want. There's no option for colour. You also got customs seed there, so you can type something in there and that will change there. You can see you get a different result there. You can also change the ratio, compress it in a bit. So I go for there. So you can get a more linear effect there. And you can change the frequency. We'll go that way. And you can see all kinds of different designs can be changed using that. And that's that. Just go with that one. So I'm just going to click OK at this point. And you can see what happens. You get this new fill layer. And of course, like I say, you can always go click there again and then continue to change it if you want. You just modify the settings, change the size, click OK, and you've got your design. And you can also say it's just a standard layer. You can use blending modes, you can use opacity, so you can see the designs below as well. And also what you can also do, you can go to a layer and you can merge with layer below, you can flatten layer, or you can just flatten the whole image. So you can flatten the layer, and you notice when you flatten the layer, probably very hard because it's very tiny, it actually changes the little icon there. It doesn't change the name, it's still a fill layer, it says, but that's just the name. It's the icon that matters. It's become a pixel layer or painting layer. And what you can then do is you can go to, so you've got tools there. Now I haven't got vast amounts of tools there, filters, and other things. You can apply effect, brushes, etc. So you can do a whole range of different things to that. Maybe blur, Gaussian blur, or artistic, oil paint, etc. So that's a run through of the fill layer feature in Krita. I hope you found this tutorial of interest. Please add some comments like what sort of things can I improve on, what sort of things do you want more information about scripts. I say I would have to really work on some of those. Each of those scripts will require a lot of effort to run through and try and work out what can be changed, what can't be changed, how you can add stuff to make even more amazing designs. And of course you can create up your own scripts. And also a dislike or like, always appreciated. Thank you much.